I don't know why when you said that, I just imagine him in the glue trap meme.
Previously on Drunk Reading.
It truly is a beautiful night.
Why did that turn into a Transylvanian accent at the end? A beautiful night.
You make me wish I could settle down and watch the stars with you forever.
The Riz? Oh my god.
Let them come.
The next line. The next line. Title drop.
The weight of this resting on your shoulders.
Her father said,
"It's up to you now."
Adrian took a step toward the cell, but Liberty grabbed his wrist and pulled him close. She wrapped her arm around his torso and nuzzled into the crook of his neck. She knew the risks, Liberty. He told her gently. She knew what it would do to her to give birth to you. Holy f***!
Huh? We got a Renesmee situation going on?
I thought it was like cancer or something. I didn't know it was superhero childbirth that killed Grace Justice.
This is up. This is up.
Choose your character.
27 is another Liberty chapter. They really did just leave Adrian in that cell. I can't.
damn.
So, did they give him water this time, at least?
I hope it's cold water and not a glass
Because
of
he had
water
one
and a
piece of
slice
bread last time, remember?
They put a single ice cube in there to last them the whole weekend.
Chapter 27.
Huh? Hey, Steve. Can you toss me that bag of chocolate chips?
Liberty asked, double checking the recipe for chocolate chip cookies. Girl, I think those are in there. I'm pretty sure.
I'm no mathematician, but hear me out.
What? Did Phil disappear for anybody else?
Nope.
No.
I'm right here.
Phil is the Discord loading cubes for me.
Can you
What?
hear
Skill
him?
issue?
Hold up.
Can you hear me?
Oh! Ah!
Oh, what?
Movie turtle disappeared again, not clickbait.
You got it, Lib.
Why the fuck does everybody call her Lib?
Because it's short for her name, which
It's
is the
literally-
Because it was
nickname.
before 2016.
Do you know how that works? Do you know how nicknames work? Asking
No.
for a friend. It's me.
Steve nodded. He picked up the bag and tossed it to her underhand.
So how's school?
Didn't he already ask that? Anyway.
Ah.
It's fine.
She tucked a lock of blonde hair behind her ear before pulling it back into a high ponytail.
Cut the crap, kid. Something's bugging you. It's been in your eyes since you got here.
Steve crossed his arms and leaned against the counter. Liberty bounced over to the doorway, peered around the corner, and didn't see her dad. She figured that he must be in the lair managing his superhero issues. That or binge-watching Parks and Rec.
Okay, you got me.
Liberty admitted. She set the bag of chocolate chips on the counter and sighed.
Everything okay? So, everything okay?
Liberty, are you good?
No, the light is hitting my...
Oh no.
Kind of. But I'm afraid to tell Dad.
Liberty told him. Steve nodded.
It's seeing you read, like, to catch up. Your little tiny lip read. Is it bad?
Depends on what you define as bad.
That's not real specific, LJ.
Steve pointed out.
Girl.
Come on. You can tell me anything. What's the problem?
This right here in my hand. But so I kind of like this guy, but I'm afraid to tell Dad.
Why? Who is it?
Promise not to freak out.
Promise. Just tell me.
I sort of, kind of like Adrian Fate.
Liberty admitted, standing on her tippy toes and taking a breath. Steve nodded slowly, letting it sink in for a moment.
You fell in love with our arch nemesis' son?
Steve's
I'm
jiggled-
sorry, but
What?
the southern accent makes it sound like Steve is about to beat the fuck out of Liberty.
Liberty nodded, hanging her head in shame.
Lib, no one is going to hold that against you. Not me, not your friends, not your dad. You should tell him. I think he'll understand.
Steve is an ally. I
Ally.
was worried he was
Ally.
gonna
Valentina.
Talk,
ally.
Valentina.
You think so?
Steve supports enemies to lovers. I know so.
Steve nodded. He looked up at the doorway and smiled.
Oh, hey, Grant.
What are you doing in here? Asked Captain Justice. He looked around at the scattered ingredients. Baking cookies?
Girl. Be so for real.
What do you mean?
Smartest man alive.
Yep, for tonight.
Liberty answered. She opened the
Is
bag
it-
of chocolate chips and dumped the entire thing into the bowl of cookie dough. That's a lot of chocolate chips.
So wait. Is Captain Justice supposed to be like Captain America or Superman?
Both.
Because okay,
Just kind of.
would he have super hearing or?
Oh, I don't know.
That's why I'm like,
He's totally like white knuckle, like clenching the kitchen counter.
What are you
like,
doing?
Hey,
Baking cookies.
what's going on, guys?
He heard them from the basement while he was binge watching Parks and Rec. He had to come up. Steve watched her expectantly, waiting for her to spill the beans.
So, Dad?
Nope.
Yeah.
What's wrong, Natalie?
She's coming out as straight right now.
Listen, there's something I've been really meaning to talk to you about. But there just doesn't really seem to be a right time.
What is it?
I think I like Adrian. Adrian Fate.
She spoke quickly, deciding to rip it off like a bandage. Steve gave her a comforting pat on the back and left the kitchen, leaving them to give them privacy. It's not a typo, I just read it like one. We're good. And like, meaning...
I like him. Like a lot. I care about him. Daddy, I love him.
But Dad, I love him. Oh my god.
What is that from?
I don't even know.
I don't know. TikTok question.
Daddy, I love him.
But Dad, I love him.
Liberty clarified. Grant nodded, silent. His mother was a great
Oh,
woman.
Little Mermaid.
Incapable of any feeling.
Oh,
The original.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
the original
yeah.
Little Mermaid. Yeah.
A duck cartoon. His mother was a great woman a long time ago. Before she betrayed me in her jealousy, she was my best friend. Turning her away from the light was my greatest regret. Maybe you're the second chance her son needs. You can make sure he doesn't follow down that dark path. You can keep him from making bad decisions.
Maybe you can fix him.
So you're okay with this?
Liberty, I love you. I trust you. If you think it's wise to pursue Mr. Fate, who
Mr.
am I to
Fate.
judge you?
Thank you, Dad.
Oh, we get a canon middle name. Liberty Isabella Justice.
Isabella.
Isabella, your
Isabella?
boyfriend's here.
Time.
Side for dinner.
Adrian Faye stuck inside his cell.
We don't
He's
know if he
taking
has
paint
bread.
chips off the walls. Like,
I don't know why when you said that, I just imagine him in the glue trap meme.
Liberty Isabella Justice. I never ever want you to be afraid to tell me something ever again, okay?
Okay.
Liberty agreed, hugging him. Steve peeked in through the doorway and smiled to himself before leaving to walk down to the lair. And I expect you to have the girls over this weekend. Have some girl talk. Watch a chick flick or two, Grant smiled.
Really?
Yeah, he told her. I want you to be happy, Liberty. I'm sorry that maybe we haven't had the closest relationship these last few years, but I want you to know that I love you, and I care about you. And if you ever need to talk, don't hesitate to call me. I'll be to Skyview faster than you can say, great googly moogly, Captain Justice.
Alexa,
Dad.
play Daddy Issues by the Neighborhood.
Wait, is it?
She laughed,
Is it me?
shaking her head.
Oh,
Liberty line.
okay, I was checking to see if it was me.
In what universe would I ever say great googly moogly?
This one, Captain Justice crossed his arms and smiled, triumphant in his victory. You just said it. Why do I want Captain Justice? Growing up as a child, as a
Real.
teenager,
What are
I was
we
in love with
talking
Adrian
about?
Fate. Now, I am in love with Liberty's himbo dad.
Real.
God.
She's right, and she should say it.
So true, bestie.
Liberty glared at him, smiling subtly.
You got me this time, Captain Justice. But I'll get you if it's the last thing I do.
Liberty mocked one of her father's foes, the way they were portrayed in the cartoons and comics. Grant ruffled his daughter's blonde hair beneath his large fingers. He smiled. When Liberty was like
Damn.
this, happy, free, she reminded him so much of his late wife.
I can't stand you, Natalie. I can't.
Your fucking hands out of my hair. God damn.
Editing Morgan needs to add a Vine move for the Natalie just made.
Her smile, the way her eyes lit up when she was happy. It was just like Grace, just like Liberty's mother.
God can't save you, Natalie.
He can't help anymore.
Something wrong, Dad?
Liberty asked, noticing him zone out. No, I'm fine. He shook his head. At that moment, the great red phone that sat on the table in the den rang. Liberty's expression fell. She knew what that meant. The dreaded red phone meant her dad had to leave. Someone was in trouble and needed his help. He picked it up and listened to the mayor's latest dilemma. Once he was done speaking, he returned to Liberty. I have to go, Lib. Steve's staying here, so you won't be home alone. I'll be back in time for supper, but in case your grandparents get here before I get back, tell them I said hi.
I got it, Dad.
Liberty nodded. She saluted him, and he smiled at her. That's my girl. I'll be back in a few hours. Love you.
Love you too.
Liberty replied as Grant sprang from the room and down the hall to the office to enter his lair. Liberty sighed. Her moment with her father had been nice while it lasted. Bom bom bom.
Womp womp.
Womp, womp.
Come, let's watch the rain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ah,
28 is another Liberty chapter.
Awesome. The longer I don't have to narrate, the happier I am.
Chapter 28. It was indeed a few hours later when Captain Justice returned. Liberty was dressed up in her favorite dress, a knee-length dress with a jeweled corset-style top and sparkly skirt that flowed when she spun around. This is
Girl.
interesting. This is a glimpse into 2015 Morgan's fashion sense. She had paired it with a gold pendant and a matching ring. Her shoes were purple and high-heeled. She barely knew how to walk in them, as they had been here the whole time and not at school with her, like the dress had been. Liberty's hair was pulled back into an elegant bun, and the hair in front of her head was curled into elegant ringlets, rather than hanging around in a frizzy mess. I didn't know she was a curly girl. Interesting.
Her.
She looked stunning. She only wished that Adrian could see her like this. But he was in the detention ward alone!
But he
He's
was in the
rotting
glue
away.
trap.
Her thoughts began to wander, and she walked down the stairs to meet her father and Steve, and start putting the food on the table before her grandparents arrived. Liberty wondered about Adrian. Did he miss Thanksgiving? Did he miss his mom? Did he want to be with her to celebrate the holiday? He probably did. Liberty felt bad for him. All alone with no one to talk to. Nothing to do but read the same books over and over again. They couldn't have given him, like, new reading material? Like, girl.
The bare fucking minimum.
Literally. And if she didn't do anything about it, he would be there all of Christmas break, too. But instead of a few days, it would be 2 weeks. 2 entire weeks of nothing but reading alone. It was sad.
You look nice, Liberty.
Steve commented as she came down the staircase. Steve was dressed in a suit with a golden tie around his neck. They had accidentally matched. Well, it wasn't really an accident. Liberty always wore gold because it was her favorite color, and Steve usually wore purple and gold because they were Captain Justice's colors, and therefore his as well.
I try.
Liberty curtsied. She walked with Steve into the kitchen to help her dad move the food from the kitchen to the dining room table. Any minute her grandparents would be there, both sets of them. Even though Liberty's mom's parents weren't super, they weren't very close to the Justices either. They still liked to see Liberty around the holidays and on her birthday. They wanted to be a part of her life, even if they didn't get to see her all that often. After
Get
Liberty...
so see her.
So he see her.
Oh, typo.
Oofda.
Let's go.
I appreciate everybody pulling their drinks out, Sammy. Seriously.
It'll look good in the edit.
Shall we change?
Shall we?
Shall we change?
Be careful, Mama. You're gonna sound like me pretty soon.
All right, Morgan. You're gonna have to do this one without Phil.
Oh.
I was gonna say, please not hear him, dumbass. You're stuffing them. Mama, go back. No.
You're gonna burn in hell one day.
Maybe, and you'll be right there too.
Oh my god.
Let's finish this the way we
Why-
started
It's
it.
just the way we started. Together.
Let's finish this the way we started. Together.
Damn it, now I gotta pirate a Harry Potter scene for this video. Y'all. Liberty rushed through the house and to the front door, opening it to find her father's parents. Who wants to be Grandma Justice?
Liberty!
No.
Let Natalie have something.
Yeah, where has Natalie
That
been this
hasn't
whole
had
video?
anything.
I talked in chapter like 23.
Oh my god!
She had
It's
one
okay.
line.
It's okay.
No.
Liberty.
Her Grandma Justice exclaimed excitedly, embracing her only granddaughter. Of course, Liberty's father's siblings had children of their own, but every single one of them were boys. Liberty was the only girl in all of her cousins, and it made her feel pretty left out at family functions. However, because they lived a few states away, the Justice family was only ever to fully assemble for Christmas, and sometimes during the summer for a family reunion. Liberty's superhero grandmother was not exactly what you would expect. Not initially. Grant's powers had been given to him, not born into him. Neither of his parents had powers, but they had both been agents for an organization responsible for containing people with powers, making sure they were kept under control. They work for S.H.I.E.L.D., I guess.
It's the Compound V? What?
Where?
Morgan, you've seen The Boys or My Hero Academia?
I've seen season 1
Shut
of The
up.
Boys. Season 1. That's it. Grant had worked for them too during his time in the military, and it had been then that they selected him to be a part of a program. However, because of the explosion of the lab the procedure took place in, Grant had been the first and last. But Grandma Justice was as normal as any grandmother, almost. She read books and owned a cat and liked to watch birds and drink tea. She had normal hobbies and normal interests. Back in the day, however, she had kicked some serious ass. She busted terrorists and broke drug rings, caught Soviet spies and took down conspiring communists. Grandma
Not
Justice...
the communists.
Grandma Justice has been a strong, successful woman in a time where men wanted women to be anything but strong and successful.
Oh, purr.
Yeah. Grandpa Justice had fought in any war he could. He was always one of the first to enlist. Well, he had been, until he had met Mary Ann.
Not Marianne.
Mary Ann Justice! He was the soldier that fell in love with a spy. Immediately, he knew he had to drop out of the army and join the agency, and that's just what he did. He left the war for his love. I think that's called deserting. And soon after, they were married. The Justices had a little boy on their hands. It wasn't Grant. It was his eldest brother, Thomas. Grant was the youngest of 5. God
absolutely
damn!
They got busy.
Boomer behavior.
Thomas, Lily, David, Amelia, and Grant. Each of the kids were about a year apart, and all of them had kids by now, except for David. But his wife was pregnant, with a girl, Liberty hoped. All of them lived out of state, except for Grant, who lived within 20 minutes of his parents.
You've grown up so much.
Grandma Justice continued to embrace her granddaughter.
Thanks, Grandma. Come on in.
They moved out of the doorway and into the house. Liberty led them into the den, where Grant and Steve were waiting. Hey, Mom. Dad. Grant smiled and walked over to his parents, embracing them each for a few seconds before they moved on to Steve.
My, look how much you've matured, Stephen.
Marianne mused, impressed.
Thank you, Mrs. Justice.
Steve nodded politely. He shook Mr. Justice's hand until the woman pulled him in for a rib-crushing hug. Liberty watched for a few seconds before the doorbell rang again. She dashed to the front door once more and pulled it open, revealing her other set of grandparents. Liberty's mom's side of the family was about as normal as it got. Oh, this is so subtle, Morgan. You're so subtle. Her grandmother, Ashley Rogers,
Buzzword.
was a kindly old woman in her late 60s or early 70s. Liberty didn't remember, and she was too polite to ask. Ashley had short graying hair and always wore bright colors, pinks and yellows mostly. She knit scarves and hats and always sent a few to Liberty each year while she was at school. Oliver Rogers was a tall, slim old man. Back in the day, he had worked for a law firm as a lawyer. Nowadays, he spent his retirement bliss playing golf, doing puzzles, and watching reruns of The Sopranos. Oliver was quiet, reserved. He barely spoke at all, so little that Liberty could barely recognize his voice. The Rogers followed Liberty through the house and into the dining room, where the others were all seated around the room. Ashley and Oliver were always in awe of their granddaughter. Every year, she managed to look more and more like her mother, Grace. It was amazing, as though they were watching their daughter grow up all over again, except this version of their daughter could fly, shoot beams of energy, and hoist a car above her head. And despite the stings of pain and loss Liberty always seemed to evoke, watching her take on the world was well worth it. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone! Grant welcomed, motioning his deceased wife's parents into the dining room with open arms and a warm smile. We're glad you could all make it here to celebrate, and we're thankful to be together again. They all joined hands to pray at the table. Oh, this is like in my Christian era. They're like praying and shit.
Over.
Wow!
Join hands.
What? No.
Dear God.
Liberty started. She always led the prayer, and had since she was a little girl, barely able to string her sentences together.
Together.
Oh! How? How you do that?
Reading ahead.
Ain't no way.
Drunk.
Dear
Together.
Lord.
Okay.
Back in the prayer circle, Connor.
Headphones.
Hold my hand.
We
Oh my
join
God.
hands.
Yeah.
Wait, I bow my head. That's what we do.
In nomine Patris et
Dear God, thank you for bringing us together on this chilly autumn night. Please be with us as the temperatures drop and the snow begins to fall. Please bless the meal we're about to share, and thank you for all the opportunities you've blessed us with this past year. We ask that you would continue to protect us and guide us on our paths the way you would want us to go. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I hope, and also I hope Adrian's okay in his glue trap, and I hope he's getting enough to eat.
Bro is
Please,
dust.
More
please,
than one
Lord.
slice of bread and a glass of
Please,
warm
Lord,
water.
bless him with a whole loaf and another glass of warm water.
This is a spinning chair!
Where did he go?
Where did he
Thanos snapped out of existence,
go?
thank God.
Go.
And when the world needed him most.
100 years later, Phil and I found the new avatar. A reader named Natalie. And while she doesn't have a YouTube channel yet, I really do believe that Natalie will be monetized before the rest of us.
They took who?
They took him.
Nor.
They took him.
Nor.
Mm.
They took who? Grogu?
They took him.
They took who? Adrian?
Oh,
He's in
who's
prison.
Adrian?
He's died.
He's died.
He's died. He is died.
He's died.
Adrian is kill.
The Adrian to the throne is dead. Sorrow's prayers.
Sorrow's prayers. We're not doing good.
We are
So
cooked.
good.
We're not.
We got through.
What do we-
Well, we got through
It's-
2 chapter 26s, so that's gotta count for something.
Chapter is is that me?
Yeah, it's an
Am I do-
Adrian chapter. The first
Oh, no.
one.
Never
in the
mind. Never-
century.
Never mind, I quit. Okay.
You don't get to quit.
I guess what, Connor?
Says you.
What you mean?
He got 2 of them.
You
It
can't
was
even
a
hear the pop. But
2-episode arc where you were gone, Connor.
That's not my fault. That's Editor Morgan's fault.
it was lonely in the detention ward. Adrian was bored out of his mind. He had already read all of the books they had given him. Twice, or was it 3 times? He didn't remember. What he wouldn't have given to be home with his mom and aunts. I forgot. I forgot about his aunts. The witches from Hocus Pocus. Several thoughts ran through his head as he sat alone in his cell. He was so stupid.
Self-loathing arc.
Why had he decided to try and take that stupid gauntlet in the first place? If he had waited and practiced using his powers some more, he wouldn't have gotten caught and he wouldn't be stuck here. Or better yet, if his mom had never asked him to go try to steal the most precious object in all of the superhero community, maybe he wouldn't have ended up here. He could be going to public school, hanging out with his friends, and living the life that had been so normal before all of this craziness and heroes had gotten in the way. He was a normal teenage boy who happened to have powers. He worked in a bookstore and read comic books and did decent in school. But all of that was gone now. His normal life had been sacrificed. But that wasn't on his mom. That was on him. But he had initially decided to tap into his inner darkness by his own choice. However, there was a good side of things too. If Adrian had never broken into the school in a failed attempt to steal Captain Justice's power gauntlet, he would have never been caught by Captain Justice's daughter. He would have never met Liberty. And if he hadn't, he honestly didn't know how different things would be. She shattered his desires to be bad. She made him want to be good. As much as he hated to admit that any girl could change his heart.
Golly.
But she had. Liberty had snuck up on him, never truly making a move towards him so much as just being there. She was always there. Not only because of the cuff, she was there trying to get him into the community, trying to let him make friends and have fun and be part of something bigger than himself. Adrian sighed his heart pounding and his cheeks flushed with embarrassment at the thought of the innocent little hero girl that had stolen his heart.
God damn.
He tried to shake it off, but there was nothing else to do in his boring, empty cell. So he laid on his back in the glue trap, stared at the ceiling, and imagined that she was there with him.
He tried to roll over and couldn't move.
Who is this?
Tobias.
Oh, it's me and you, baby.
He's crooked. Turn your head.
My brother.
Imagining your love.
Adrian bolted upright at the sudden voice. He calmed down when he saw that it was only Tobias, leaning against the wall just outside the bars of light that held him inside the dark, empty room. This time, Tobias was wearing a tweed jacket with a red bow tie and a red fez. Wow, subtle as hell. Oh my god.
She went there. I didn't think she would, but she did. She went there.
Oh, hey, Tobias, he greeted calmly. He sat on his bed, leaning against the wall and crossing his arms across his chest. You a fan of Doctor Who or something?
She just straight up. Oh, please. Doctor Who is a fan of me.
Tobias batted his hand at Adrian, shaking his head. Adrian raised an eyebrow, not entirely convinced that his time-traveling friend wasn't indeed the Doctor, lacking the TARDIS, of course.
Oh my god.
But was I right? You were dreaming about your lover.
The time traveler asked, tilting his head to the side quizzically. How could you tell? Adrian surrendered, giving a defeated wit and wistful sigh. Did you just moan?
I laughed. I chuckled.
That ain't no chuckle, mama.
That was not a chuckle.
I'm a time traveler, dear boy. And you also had that look in your face.
In your face. Brilliant.
On your face.
Tobias pointed out. What's the look? Adrian asked, raising an eyebrow and squinting an eye.
God, why does Tobias talk so much?
He has it in like so long, but okay, go off.
In all of history, humans have always had a certain look on their face whilst thinking about the one they love. The look you had, that was the look of a man imagining
The look
his
you
lover.
had.
Golly.
I say, that's the look of a man imagining his lover. Tobias told him, smiling. Is that the look you get? I'm sorry, Natalie's dying. Is that the look you get when you think about Mary? Adrian challenged, laughing. Tobias raised an eyebrow. Tobias raised an eyebrow.
Whatever do you mean?
Shit, Adrian muttered. I take it I wasn't supposed to tell you that.
No, please, do go on.
Just say it like that. Tobias pleaded.
Adrian's POV.
No,
Mary?
please.
As in Mary Blake? One of the twins?
Yeah, Adrian admitted, rubbing the back of his neck. Mary Blake, you two just hooked up, or you haven't yet. I don't understand you.
I don't think I knew what hooked up meant. As a 15-year-old, I don't think I knew what that meant. TBH. Reading this back, I think she thought it meant something different than it means.
Yeah.
Mary Blake.
Tobias repeated, mulling it over.
Ah, yes, that seems about right. The kind, beautiful young woman.
I say I don't know why I hadn't seen it. I'm just waiting for you to go full foghorn.
I don't know why I haven't figured it out sooner. Thank you, Adrian Fate.
Anytime, buddy.
Now I must be off to confess my love for her.
You do that now, Adrian said, batting his hand to shoo him away.
Just complaining about how lonely he was and lamenting his loneliness, and then Tobias shows up and he's like, "Nah, get out of here. You're annoying.
outta
Get out of here."
Not you.
Not
But when do
anyone
I
but
do it
you.
exactly?
The night of the Fire and Ice premiere. We were on the bus on the way there. But it seemed like you two were together before then? Well, not for Mary. I don't know. Just follow your heart, dude. Just follow your heart, dude.
Thank you, Adrian.
Tobias tipped his fez and disappeared,
Malik.
leaving Adrian on his own once again. He sighed. It had been nice to have company while it lasted. Now he only needed to figure out how to tell Liberty he liked her. But really, he had a lot of time on his hands.
They get this shit figured out by chapter 3. What are the
Don't
other
be shy.
23 chapters about?
How
I'm a
many?
wee bit concerned.
Yeah, honestly, it feels like we got to this point quick as hell.
Yeah.
All right, Slay. I love Hocus Pocus.
I love Hocus Pocus. That literally is what this chapter is, basically.
Oh.
Natalie, would you like to narrate?
Oh, narrate. Okay. Mara, Myrna said, entering her older sister's chambers. We cannot sit and dwell on the past.
Really?
Oh, I can't do it. No, I can't do it. I can't keep holding up these bobbleheads.
I want to hear a Russian accent since you held up one, though.
What can we do?
It's just the Transylvania accent again.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. What can
Adrian
we
is
do?
captured. The power gauntlet is locked up. We are stuck here. If we go to my old house, we will surely be caught. If we move, they will surely find us.
Mara stated quietly, her hope gone. We can talk to the boy, Myrna told her sister. Alone, our magic is only so powerful, but together we can reach him. We could talk to him from here, formulate a new plan.
Myrna's got her familiar out.
What's poppin'?
What's the point, Myrna?
Mara stood from her chair and walked towards her grand vanity. She stared at her reflection. Tall, slender, dark, with blood-red lips and a fresh need for vengeance. I'm sorry.
God.
Mommy, sorry. Mommy, sorry. Mommy,
The call was coming from inside the house, Morgan.
The closet was glass.
Even if we teach him, who's to say he'd listen to us?
Close enough.
He's with them. They sentenced him to a hero's education and some quality time with the beautiful daughter of my arch nemesis.
Your son is your son, Myrna said. If you'd rather do nothing and wait here forever in vain, letting him waste away for the rest of the school year, so be it. But we have a chance to change the course of fate. That's what we are, the Fates. We must live up to our destiny, sister. Mara was silent for a long time. She picked up her blood-red lipstick and rubbed a fresh coat onto her already bright red lips. She smiled devilishly. Slowly, she turned to face her sister.
Get Mila.
Mara ordered.
If we're going to do it, we had better do it now.
I'll get her immediately. Mara nodded. But before she started to walk away, Mila walked through the door, a mischievous grin present, stretching across her pale face.
There's no need for that, sister. I'm ready. Let's contact our dear nephew.
I appreciate.
I love this.
I appreciate that Myrna just speaks in an American,
Yeah.
plain old American accent,
Yeah.
and then she's got
She's a
her,
fucking frog, dude. I don't know
her
what you
sister
want.
Mario.
Mario? Mario?
Is that what you were going for with that? That's what.
Mamma mia.
My
That's a
nephew is
spicy
in jail.
Join hands, sister.
Okay. Oh.
Oh, how many? There we go. This. Nope. This way. Yeah.
If I put one down here,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Is this right?
Yeah.
Or is this wrong?
Don't.
Am I touching y'all?
Yes.
Whoa. All right. The Fate sisters joined hands and stood in a triangle, as there were only 3 of them.
Geometry, you know.
Wow. Standing in the middle of their jointed arm was a great steaming cauldron filled to the brim with a boiling mixture brewed from the darkest ingredients they had in their cabinet.
Why does it take all this to talk to someone? This is a FaceTime call. Why do they have to like summon the power of Satan? Talk to Adrian right now.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Oh my god.
Bum 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 bum.
Asked Mara.
I'll be the instrumental.
Alexa, set the
Yes.
lights to green.
Hey Google, set the light to green.
Oh, no, wait, hold on. Where's my
Sure. Changing the picture light to green.
Wait, no.
There we go.
Wait.
No, wait.
Slay.
Myrna and Mila nodded.
Together, sisters. I'm saying to
Bum,
five.
bum, 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 bum,
Blackest of hearts.
And
And
darkest
darkest of souls.
Tempest of
Tempest
fate. Call for help in our home. Work for us now as you worked for us then. Help us talk to our fate boy again. Though he may be lost, he must now be found. We use this dark magic to bring him around. Summon his image from the school of the sky and show him to us while our power is high. With him we must speak.
So now we're apart.
To
To
do
evil, I swear,
Is
is the wish of my heart.
No, because that kind of goes hard.
Thank
I
you.
can't lie.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll be here
I
all
can't
week.
hold. The sisters opened their eyes and stared at the cauldron, now glowing in eerie green light. Oh!
We did it.
We did it.
Soon, the light spread to a ring around the edge, and a picture of Adrian appeared before them. He was laying down, his head on a pillow of some sort, and his eyes were
He's
closed.
in the
Is
bug
he still in
trap.
jail?
He's in the glue trap.
Adrian.
Called Mara. Adrian's gleaming green eyes popped open. and he sat up, staring at the strange green ring in front of him.
Mom?
He asked, rubbing his neck and stretching.
How are you? What are you? How?
Magic, my dear, is a very powerful. Oh, I stole your line.
You glory hog.
No.
Magic, my dear, is a very powerful thing, Myrna answered. Especially when you have a trinity of dark magic.
Why haven't you tried to contact me sooner?
Adrian yelled, obviously very frustrated at the lack of communication.
Do you know how long I've been here?
Adrian.
Mara started, an apologetic look on her face.
Don't, Adrian. Me, Mom. You sent me here when I got caught. I didn't hear from you. No message, no letter, no secret Morse code message. You didn't even try. They put me through a trial. Had me chained to Liberty Justice of all people. Where have you been?
Here.
Mila answered for her sister.
Don't be cross with your mother, young man. She's been meaning to communicate with you, but every time she's tried, you've been with others.
Mara nodded at her sister, thanking her for lying to Adrian to preserve her image. Mila winked.
Oh.
Adrian said.
You still should have called.
And do what? Give away my cover? Never.
Mara told him.
But we need a new plan, Adrian. We need a new plan.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
If we destroy the school, or we can take the continent and be done with it, it will be the beginning of the world's fate. We will start the path we had meant to start originally. One of vengeance and justice. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah,
Justice.
blah, blah.
Wait a second, Mom. Destroy the school?
Adrian shouted.
You're insane.
Why, have you met friends? Have you latched on to the precious little heroes? Has Captain Justice's girl made you soft?
No.
Actually, the opposite, Mom.
Don't do it. You shouldn't have. You should have kept your mouth shut.
But they're innocent. They haven't done anything wrong.
They've done everything.
Now that's Mario.
But on everything.
They've done everything.
Because of their past, your ass and I have been banished to the shadows. Forced to never show our faces out of fear. That someone will recognize us and call the League of Heroes to take us away forever. Their parents, why is it slowly becoming?
You tell me, girlfriend. Let's tell you.
Their parents are the reason you were never granted the life you deserved, Adrian. Your father.
Dad left because of you, Mom. Not because of the League. I'm not destroying the school. These kids are not their parents.
Can't you see? Or are you blinded? A fool in love.
Mara shouted, tears welling in her eyes and dripping down her cheek.
As a friend of mine once said,
Adrian stated, thinking of Liberty.
we can't control our family. Only who we turn out to be.
He paused.
This is you,
You-
Adrian.
I know I was scrolling. Mind your business, you Italian Transylvanian bitch. You don't define me. I'm who I choose to be. I should have known that from the beginning. But maybe being here has taught me something. I don't need to be evil to matter.
Adrian sighed, nodding to.
I'm go- I'm going to do what I want to do. You can go ahead and try to rule the world, Mom, but count me out of it.
Adrian waved his hands, breaking the ring of magic in his cell and dispersing it into the air, using his cuff to cancel out the power.
Wow.
Damn. On the other side of the message, Mara backed away from the cauldron, pulled her hands out of her sister's as though they were burning her.
Mara?
Mila asked, taking a tiny step towards her. Mara shook her head, wiping her angry tears away.
They've tainted him. There's nothing we can do to save him without taking him away from them.
Mara stated. She shook her head, holding her hand in front of her face, taking quick, rage-filled breaths. Oh, God. Ah!
Is it Miss Piggy now?
Why you say this now? Why you say this at the end of the chapter?
Oh, no.
Because I'm smarter than you. Yeah.
What do we do now? Myrna asked. We can't just let him stay there, or before we know it, he'll be the one arresting us.
You're right. Kermie.
He's finding the pits.
Oh,
It's okay.
Lord, he's stimming.
Kermie. You're right, sister.
Mara nodded.
We need to make a plan. And I think I know just the thing to do.
I'm a genius.
He saw the vision when no one else did.
Oh, God.